All right. Get lit up here a little bit. So what's up, everybody? Um, Welcome to the Facebook Live version number 2. This is the second week we're doing this in a row. We're going to try to stay on top of these and do them every Wednesday. Um, Last week we did it at 5:30, and we're trying it out at 7 p.m. tonight. Give me 1 second. My sister, who's also my assistant, will be joining us. All right, let's see what happens. She should be here in just a moment. Today's topic is going to be exercising safely while sick. I'm going to let you guys in on why I chose that topic for today's Facebook Live in just a moment. But here
Hi.
we have Felicia. Hi.
I am going to join just with audio for the first 5 minutes because I don't know if people are aware, San Diego has been pummeled with rain and the sun is a little bit shining. So I'm finally outside with my dog.
Oh, well, I don't mind if you have the camera
It's a
on,
little
but
loud.
you can do whatever you like.
Okay. It's a little loud, but I'll be home back inside in a few minutes.
That's all right. Cool. So I was just letting everybody know that we are chatting about exercising safely while sick, and when to work out and when not to work out and when to return to your workout. So just to give you guys a little backstory, and if you were watching the Facebook Live last week or you were able to catch the replay, you'll know why I'm talking about this topic. So the month of January and the beginning of February has been pretty fucking shitty, to be honest. My fiance and I have had COVID when we got back from Brazil. That lasted like a week. We took a cruise and I lost Felicia, but that's all right. We took a cruise, and when we were on the cruise halfway through, we both developed a really high fever. There you go. And then that fever lasted for a few days. We were stuck in our cabin to make sure that we didn't get anyone else sick. When we emerged from our cabin, we found out that half the boat had gotten sick. We started to feel better, so we went to a show the last night, but didn't really get to enjoy most of the cruise. So that killed our vacation. And when we got home, we were feeling better for about a day or two. And then we both got fevers again and started feeling like crap. We just figured we got the flu on the ship and it was just lasting forever. Well, my fiance went to urgent care on Saturday. I went to the emergency room on Sunday and I tested positive for the flu. So we figured out, with the help of the doctor, that whatever sickness we got on the ship was another virus, which is just awesome. So in the past month and week, we've had 3 different respiratory viruses, 2 of them with high fevers. And the flu has been absolutely the worst one. We've had a fever on and off for a week. It was really bad over the weekend. Really bad cough. I'm doing a lot better today. I'm actually really surprised, Felicia, that I was able to do the Facebook Live last week. Looking back at it, I
Yeah.
was in really bad shape.
Yeah. You look significantly better.
Well, that's good. And I changed the light. I changed the lighting a little bit because I don't look significantly better in person.
Yeah.
Um, but that being said, I thought it would be a good time to talk about working out while you're sick, because I know a lot of us are really adamant about making sure that we get our workouts in regardless of how we're feeling. And I want to talk about why it's not always a good idea to work out when you're sick. So, jumping right in, when not to work out. So, definitely if you have a high fever, and I had a high fever multiple times in the past month, um, this can really elevate your body temperature even further when you're working out with a high fever. It can lead to dehydration and it can absolutely worsen your symptoms. In addition to that, if you've got severe fatigue, which both of us have struggled with over the past month, um, working out can make you feel excessively tired or weak. And, you know, this is just really an indication that your body needs to rest and fully recover. Have you ever tried to work out with either one of these things? I'm sure that you have. We're the
Yeah,
same
well,
family.
yeah. And it's like, oh, if I work out, maybe I'll feel better. That's, I feel like, the first mindset, but you actually have to restructure your thought process to be like, no, listen to your body. But when I had COVID, that's actually how I knew I was sick. I had zero symptoms other than like trying to do some high knees or something that normally don't make me feel so fatigued and tired within like 5 seconds. And I'm like, ooh, something must be wrong. Normally don't make me feel so fatigued. And now that's a lot of me.
I'm commenting on the computer while you are talking, and it's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I definitely have experienced that. And usually the fatigue is my first sign to let my body know either there's something wrong or it's not time to work out yet.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Fevers, forget it. I can't even, when I get a fever, I get the body aches, the chills, the whole thing. I can't even stand up when I have fevers. My body doesn't do well.
The fever, 1000%. I don't go to the gym if I have the fever. I mean, that is definitely a 1000% sign that you should not be leaving the house, period.
Right.
And especially after COVID and infecting people and learning that there are people with compromised immune systems, et cetera, you really should be considerate of the people around you when you think that you have something that might be contagious. But fatigue can be really, I don't know, kind of like, what's the word that I'm looking for? It can be the canary in the coal mine, I think, where what I'm trying to say is that you're not really sure if you're contagious or you are sick. You're just feeling really down and in the dumps, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, it just goes to listening to your body. Like if you're
100%.
if you're feeling like that, if you feel like you're going to lift up a weight and it's going to feel like 20 pounds is 1,000 pounds, it's a good time to put the weight down. Go back to your apartment or your house and just let yourself rest. You know, in addition to that, there's respiratory symptoms as well. So if you've got a persistent cough or chest congestion, or you have difficulty breathing, it can absolutely worsen when you go exercise, which I mean is common sense, right? When you're exercising, you're making your heart rate go up and you are forcing your body to pull in more oxygen. So if you've got something that's limiting the amount of oxygen you're able to absorb in your lungs, like the respiratory flu that I had this past week, doing high intensity workouts that are going to increase the oxygen demand in your body are going to make things worse.
It's just going to exacerbate your symptoms. Yeah.
So my head is not still 100% here, by the way. So I've stopped staring off into space, but every once in a while, my brain is like, don't forget you've been sick for a month and a half. And the cough is still there. But that being said, you know, the one that we might not think about the most is gastrointestinal issues. You know, nausea and vomiting, that's one thing, right? But if you have diarrhea, all of these things can lead to dehydration and electrolyte imbalances. And this can actually make exercise unsafe, because if you're super dehydrated, you have the risk of passing out, right? So if you're not giving your body the proper amount of hydration, or your body can't get the proper amount of hydration, it does make working out unsafe. So we really have to pay attention. You know, say the only symptom you have is diarrhea. You got to really think about, is it a really good idea for me to go to the gym today? And if I am going to go to the gym today, what am I going to do to make sure that I stay hydrated? I know that everybody's like, drink water, and water is great, but it really does take electrolytes to make sure that your body can absorb the water that you give it, especially when you're not feeling well. So any type of electrolyte drink, they make electrolyte water. I can't remember the name of the brand, that long skinny bottle with the blue writing.
Yeah, you know my personal favorite electrolyte is that Element packet that you put in your water.
Element packet is good.
Element packets are great just because there's not sugar in them. You know, the other ones have so much sugar, but I know what you're talking about, the tall, thin bottle with the writing.
Right. I can't remember the name of it right now. It's just water with electrolytes in it. So that helps the absorption of the water. In addition to that, Pedialyte. You know, I actually is my go-to when I'm not feeling well now, and I know that I need hydration. I'm not a huge fan of the taste or the flavor of it, but it really is one of the best things at replenishing all of those electrolytes, and it has a whole bunch of other stuff in it that's going to help you feel better as well.
Yeah.
Vitamins, minerals, etc. So, you know, that's just a couple ideas of a couple reasons of why you should not go to the gym, the times that you should stay home and recover.
Mm-hmm.
What's difficult for me is when I'm home, I still want to do stuff, right? So I have a short list here of things that you can do to stay active while you're sick. Any ideas off the top of your head, Felicia?
I mean, what I just did, going for a walk, that's always my go-to. It might hurt when you first walk outside, but sunshine, moving your body always helps. I like to do just like a little stretch, some type of meditation or yoga, you know, maybe not a down dog if you're a little dizzy, but just stretching, moving your body a little.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
So 10-minute mobilities, things like that, where it's like short bursts of yoga where you're not doing like an entire hour class.
Right.
Certainly not power yoga or even vinyasa. Think of more restorative, where you're going to be holding poses for a long time, where you're not going to be doing balance poses, where you're going to be dizzy and fall down, right? All of these things can help you maintain circulation and mobility without really straining your body or your resources too much. Hydration, probably going to bring this up on every topic that we talk about today. Making sure that you stay hydrated, water, herbal tea, electrolyte-rich beverages for the exact reasons that we just talked about. Dehydration is important when you get to the gym, but also when you're recovering from being sick. Any restorative practice, you know, we talked about yoga, but also meditation, breathing exercises. In the Save and Fitness app, I've actually just recently added for our clients, or actually you added them for me, we added them, power breathing exercises.
Yeah, they're neat.
They're great. I've really started to enjoy these. There's been some research done on rhythmic power breathing, and I think they call it something specific in yoga. I can't remember what that term is. But it's helped me a lot with anxiety. Mom, I love you very much, but you're just here to watch. She's asking how she gets onto the screen. So we are the presenters today, but we'll talk about that later. We're really happy that you're here watching. Mom is watching. Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
Love you.
Love you too.
So that being said, where was I? Power breathing, right? This is something that I just kind of implemented into my own personal practice as well. And I've been using this a lot over the past week just to kind of get myself out of the headspace I was in of feeling sick. If you've never done this type of breathing before, it's like to the beat of the music. It's really big, deep, long breaths. The specific one that I've been doing in the app, we start with big, long breaths, and then we move to quick breaths, and then you take a break. It's really nice to do this in a guided way because you don't want to do it improperly because you can make yourself lightheaded and pass out.
100%. Yeah, you get real winded quickly if you don't do it correctly. It almost reminds me a little bit of some of my friends who have had children. It's like like the quick breathing, but it really does. It helps. I liked it, especially the morning ones. It's really neat to start your day like that. Yeah,
so it's good when you're not feeling well, but it's also great, period, to help if you have high anxiety levels. And we talked about that a little bit last week. How do you know when you're supposed to go back to the gym, right? So we all want to get back to the gym as soon as possible. We want to make sure that we don't lose the gains that we've gotten through all the hard work that we've put in through our workouts and our diet. I'm going to segue just a little bit there. What can you do while you're sick? Continue to eat as healthy as possible. At the same time, make sure that you have comfort food when you want it. Just not for every single meal.
Totally.
We've been sick for the entire week. I like Chinese food. I even went to the store because I had to walk the dog and got one of those tombstone pizza things and put it in the oven one night. It was horrible, actually. They don't even taste like pizza, but it's just what I wanted at the time. But in between all of those, we've been trying to eat our normal food. We've been eating lots of vegetables, lots of lean meats, lots of whole grain carbohydrates. Our appetites have not been as much as they usually are, so we've lost a little bit of weight, which sounds good on the surface, but it's not healthy weight loss, right? Because you're actually eating at an unhealthy deficit. Excuse me.
I'm big on bone broths with vegetables in them when I'm sick. You know, like the kettle bone broths, or even the veggie ones, or like they I think it's Kettle Fire is the brand. They make really good flavored ones that actually have a lot of protein in them, and then you can add some vegetables. And you know, when you're sick, you're not super hungry, so there's a
Yeah.
bunch of nutrients and vitamins in those too, and it feels comforting.
And it gives you protein as well. And protein is something
Yeah,
that people tend to miss out on when they're
when you're
sick.
sick.
And we still have to make
Absolutely.
sure that we're giving ourselves enough protein because protein is circulated in your bloodstream, right? So
Right.
there's not really a storage system for protein in your body. We can
Sure.
store excess proteins as fat, but once it turns into fat, you're not using it in the same
Right.
way. So it's really important to stay on top of that. Mom says it's called pranayama.
I believe, yeah, she's really into yoga
Deep
and all that
breathing,
stuff, so I believe it. Yep,
right?
that's correct.
I'm not sure
Thanks, Mom.
if the specific method that I'm talking about is called that, but I've heard of that before.
Hmm.
It's a deep breathing method in yoga. All right, so we were talking about when to return to the gym. Honestly, it's just basically when you have a resolution of your symptoms.
Hmm.
When the symptoms have subsided entirely, you can return to exercise. Now let's talk about that for a second. I've got the flu. I've heard that this cough that I have is probably going to last for a few weeks. I'm probably not going to wait for the cough to subside completely, but I'm definitely going to wait for things like the fever to go away. That's absolutely first and foremost, something that you should make sure is gone before you leave the house and go to the gym. Not
Absolutely.
only is it bad for you, but you got to think about consideration for others as well. If you've got a fever, 99%
Don't leave your house.
chance you're contagious, right? And
100%.
you're
Yep.
going to ruin someone else's workout.
Hmm.
And we don't want to give other people what we have, especially after what we've learned in the past couple of years. I think, one of the good things that came out of COVID is that, well, for some people, unfortunately not everyone, is that we have learned that there are other people around us with compromised immune systems that may not be able to handle the same sickness we have in the same way. And they deserve to be in the same spaces that we are. So, if you are still feeling like you might be contagious and you have to leave the house, I am back and forth on how effective the masks are, but when I did leave the house and I had to go to the emergency room, I did put one on in
Hmm.
the Uber because I figured why not? It can't hurt,
Can't
right?
hurt. Yeah, whether what it's actually doing, you don't know, but it definitely can't hurt.
And if you have an N95, that's another story.
Mhm.
Go ahead, wear
Yeah.
it when you leave the house. But as far as going to the gym, just try to wait until your fever is gone, and try to, feel your best as you can before you head back down there. Even though I'm feeling better today, I'm probably not going to go to the gym tomorrow. I'm going to give myself one more day
Hmm.
just to make sure that I don't put myself back into a bad place just because it's
Correct.
been fucking weeks. And the
Yep.
last thing I want to do is slide backwards,
Yeah.
Um, when you are going back to the gym, light and easy.
Yep. Don't jump into it. Your body's still healing.
Gradually increase what you're doing in intensity and duration. The last thing you want to do, especially if you haven't been to the gym in a few weeks, is jump back into a 4x4 deadlift.
Hmm.
First of all, it's going to hurt. Like you're going to get up the next day and you're not going to be able to walk. But in addition to that, you got to think about all the other parts of your body, your joints, right? There probably some
Hmm.
inflammation in your body. You want to make sure that everything is functioning properly before you go back into those heavy lifts. If that's what you're doing, if you're used to doing high intensity interval training, take it down a notch.
Hmm.
Just make sure that your cardiovascular system is functioning properly before you hit it 100%. I would say a couple days at the gym going light, maybe 2, 3. And if you're feeling good, then go ahead, get back into
Yeah.
your normal workout routine.
Yeah. And if there's any setbacks, take a break again, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or because you're only going to do worse, or ask your doctor if you need more help,
Yeah,
you know?
that was actually going to be the last point that I make. If you're unsure, just ask your healthcare professional. I think most of us, as long as you have health insurance, and I know not everyone has health insurance, if you don't, I'm sorry that you're struggling with that. I've been through 3 or 4 different health insurances in the past year just because I have my own business now, and there's been all sorts of different things that have happened. I won't get into that because I will go off on a tangent and I will probably get sick again because I'll get angry and my blood pressure will go up. But if you do have health insurance, and even if you don't, I think it's accessible. You have telehealth.
Sure.
So if you're unsure, you can access a doctor or a nurse practitioner that might be
Yeah.
able to give you the advice you need on whether you're ready to go back to the gym. You can tell them
Yeah.
what symptoms you still have or how you're feeling, and they'll let you know if it's a good idea for you to jump back in.
Yeah, absolutely. There's
You
lots
work for
of
two doctors, right?
I work for two physicians, which is definitely helpful in that regard, especially when I've been sick. But there's lots of programs out there now, the telehealth being one of them. But they even have programs where like registered nurses and stuff can come to your house that are specifically for people who don't have insurance. Google, if you really need something. But
There are resources out there. It's a lot more difficult to find, and you got to be careful because sometimes there will be underlying charges they don't tell you about.
Yeah, and depending on where you live.
Depends on where you live. It has a lot to do with the local government or the state government, which is unfortunate because we don't have consistency throughout the country. But that's the federal system.
And also,
again,
you can start too to like circle back.
Started.
Yeah, and like to circle back. You can also just start lightly working out from home if you have bands, or log on to the app or pull up something and just slowly get yourself going at home if you're worried about potentially still being sick and infecting others, or feeling horrible at the gym and then having to get home, because there's nothing worse than that too. So
going to the gym, starting and not being able to finish what you started is almost worse than not going at all.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Like being defeated or accepting defeat before it begins are two totally different things. And the mentality that comes out of that is you're going to go to bed feeling two different ways that night.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe start at home and feel like you look a little good, put on your favorite outfit, and then hit the gym, your shorts or whatever. By the way, I think it's called Uddiyana.
Okay. Gotcha.
Is what you're thinking of.
I'm going to look that up and make sure that I'm referencing it properly.
Yeah.
But
we'll leave a note in the comments if anybody's concerned afterwards.
It is amazing. And I have a really hard time calming my mind when I'm meditating.
Yeah.
And this really helps me with my anxiety. For me, when I'm teaching a group fitness class, whether it be the main studio or on the bike, it's one of the few times in my life where my mind is clear. I think I'm coming to the end of my ability to be able to talk, so we're almost done. I'm sorry, guys. This is why I'm not at the gym today. But it's one of the few times my mind is clear, and I can't clear my mind when I'm meditating. But when I'm doing that type of breathing exercise, all I'm focusing on is the breath. Because
you're fully dialed in. Yeah.
Fully dialed in.
Yep.
So if you've never tried it, give it a shot. You can look up YouTube. What's the name of that guy on YouTube?
Well, that's what I was looking up. I'm pretty sure this is the one video that I just loaded. And the breath work is Uddiyana Bandha, but his name, he's pretty great, and he sort of makes you feel like you're in the rainforest with him. He's pretty wonderful. Give me 1 second here. For some reason, it's not. When you want things to work, they don't. His name is Sandy. Breathe with Sandy.
Breathe with Sandy. That's what it is.
Yes.
So totally promoting this guy because I'm recommending him to our clients, and hopefully he sees this at one point.
Yeah.
And
he's pretty great.
He knows how thankful we are that he's doing what he's doing, because it's different than what most people experience. And I highly recommend Breathe with Sandy because it has really helped me, and hopefully it's helped a lot of our clients. And I'm very excited that he is on YouTube and putting out videos. And we have a few that we've given our clients access to, but he's got a lot more stuff on there, so go check him out.
Kundalini too. Yeah, he does quite a few different. Is that the one you're thinking of?
Few different breathing exercises. Correct.
Yeah, you'll learn something from him and hopefully feel better, even if you're not sick.
Awesome. Even if you're not sick.
Even if you're not
Good
sick.
Segue to checking out, because I still am sick. So I'm gonna log off for now. We got a few people watching today. I'm super excited to see this. So thank you guys for tuning in. We're gonna do these every week. I think we're going to do them at 7 o'clock. I believe that this is going to be time, considering West Coast to East Coast, that more people are going to be able to hop on. So moving forward, the Facebook Lives are going to be at 7 o'clock. Felicia and I are working together to put a schedule of guest speakers on that are experts in their field, whether it be fitness, nutrition, meditation, yoga, or maybe even breathing exercises. So, look out for that. We always put the invites into the group, usually on Mondays, so that you know what's going on the Facebook Live on Wednesday. But yeah, thank you very much for doing these with me, Felicia.
Yeah.
We'll
I think
keep
they're
it going.
fun. And I'm excited to have some guests on too.
Yeah.
Teach us something,
Me too. I think Tara's going to be first.
Perfect.
I was going to chat with her last week, but I was out of my mind. So I'm going to connect with her this week, and hopefully we're going to get her on.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of people are sick right now, so hopefully some of these tips have helped people kind of feel better about being sick and knowing it's okay to take a break and when to maybe hop back in.
1000%. Listen
right.
to your body.
Listen
All right,
to your
guys,
body.
thank you very much for joining us today. And
Bye.
if you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and leave a comment below and let us know if there's any topics that you want us to talk about on the Facebook Lives. This is your group, and I want to make sure that we're talking about stuff that is going to be useful to you. All right?
Perfect. See you later.
See you later.